Well, welcome to Hearts. Well, welcome to Changing Lane with Hearts and King.
That's right.
Oh,
It's our first
our
time.
first show, guys. So bear with us. But are we really doing this?
We're doing it.
Are we doing
We're
this?
doing this.
Are we on this road? And thanks for joining us today. Like I said, I'm Hakima King,
And I'm Jerri Hartz.
and welcome. All right. Well, Jerry, who is Changing Lane with Hearts and King? Who is this podcast for?
I think it's for anybody, male, female, anybody that's gone through it being life,
Yes.
it being having some things thrown at them, and being really nervous, afraid, challenged.
This is definitely a challenge for us.
Right. Doing something new, taking it on, and maybe we just want to share stories of our guests, what they've been through, what we've been through, and how to encourage each other.
Right. So, our millennials, Gen Z, if you can relate to us, this is for you.
Exactly.
Will we say that?
Yeah, I think we would say that, but again, I laugh because I'm Gen X, you're
Millennial.
and we're pretty much on the same space. You're probably a little ahead because you actually have grandbabies.
I am a grandma in these streets.
One grandbaby.
I am just one, yes.
And she's a lot younger than I am. And
I identify older.
Yes, and I have bonus grandbabies that I will claim as my own, but my son's only 18, so I identify younger.
Right.
So,
Right. So, Jerry, who is Jerry Hartz?
so I'm a mom, first and foremost, then probably a daughter, girlfriend, realtor, uh, investor, um, good friend, loyal friend to most of I've had friends forever since the uh, like third, second grade that are still my homies, my people that I run with and run to when I'm in difficult situations. And then I have uh, women, and when I say that, and one high school or junior high friend, and then another. I just
You are a friend.
I'm
You
just
have
a
a lot of
friend.
friends.
I'm just a friend.
I wish I could say I had some
Who's a Kima?
play school friends. Well, Hakima King, who is it? Well, of course I'm a mom,
Mm-hmm.
but now my kids are grown and gone, so I'm like the cooler side of momming now. Like I'm just giving you advice, and you can take it or not take it. I'm a grandma. That's the most important job I got. I'm a
That's the
grandma.
best job
Yes,
too.
and
The
Kyle,
most fun job.
yes, it's so amazing. He is absolutely perfect. He couldn't get more perfect than that. That
Well,
kid, yeah.
He's just starting to talk, so we'll give him a little time.
Oh yeah, yes. And he calls me Boo Boo, so I'm not grandma, but I do want to be grandma. That is my name. But he
I
chooses
like
what he
Boo
want to.
Boo.
Yeah, he
Boo Boo's
chooses.
good.
He chooses what he want to call me. So yeah.
That's good.
So let's talk about Hearts and King
And how we met?
and how. Well, why a podcast? Like why? I mean, how we met, but how did we get to this podcast? We're gonna talk about how we met and the person who introduced us. But why a podcast, Jerry? Why heart? Why changing lanes?
I just think we've both been through so much. I mean, last year for me, it was Isaac leaving for college, me being an Italian.
Right? And we were going to start this podcast a year ago, but Jerry was in transition. We talked about that. We did like kind of like a little podcast.
Yes, but for me, it was just overwhelming. I've got, for the most of my um, parenting life, I was a single mom, had great support from my family and my boyfriend and surrounding others, but Isaac has been my main focus, and he was leaving, and our biggest job in life is to get those
kids out of the house,
and get them so they can go,
right.
But the most important thing that you're really excited to do is the thing you have to let go of. And I am not good with loss, and it was really tricky.
Jerry was struggling last year with letting Isaac go. We talked about that, didn't we?
I know, and that poor kid, he's so mature that he had to comfort me,
Right.
So it was, and then for me to just kept going, it's going to be fine, you're going to be fine. So you really were helpful, and
Right.
I'm very grateful that your kids, Ayana right now is away at school, she's on scholarship,
Junior year of college.
She's doing really well, and but
Sayers
you're just like
doing amazing. Yes, because you gotta let him go. At a point, you gotta let him go. I really thought you were gonna be stalking Isaac, and that's another thing. Like, how has the things changed since he's been in school? So how do you think?
Well, first off, it sounds like I was like this hoverer over this kid, but he was very good about like living his own kind of thing. He did his own thing. I just like hearing him. I like hearing him in the house. So, but
So you want helicopter mom?
Dr. Mom for the game that I was. I promise.
Okay.
I was not.
I don't think you were.
I
I
know.
think you're more like
I mean, I couldn't be. I had to work.
right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's great. He's doing his thing. He's playing football. He's getting good grades.
He's an amazing kid. He's always been a good kid though.
He's fishing. I know. So, funny story, real quick. When Kima met Isaac, so Isaac is 14 years old.
Was he he was younger than 14 when I met him.
No, well, with the story that I'm talking about,
yes.
This
he
story.
was 14 years old when I told him to drive.
Yeah, she just looked at him. He stood up and gave her a big hug and flexed his little muscles, and she goes, "Just get him a car. Why are you struggling so much?" Right. I'm like, "You're a police officer. You know, what am I supposed to do?"
It's 14.
And she said, "So what? Just tell him to call, Auntie Keen at the precinct, and I'll get him off any tickets he gets." So, but
I didn't say that, but I was driving at 14, and I'm like, "What?" I mean, Isaac's a good kid.
He's a good kid.
He looks like at 14. He had muscles. He was playing sports. He looked like he could have passed for 16, 17.
Luckily, I did not follow that advice from you.
Listen, I'm mom. Nobody said I was perfect, but I was driving at 14 and nothing happened to me. Look how great I turned out.
You turned out great. So did your girls. Your girls are great too. So that's all that matters. So anyway, that's the story. He's doing great. We're great. Your kids are good.
Yes, he's in college and you're not there. He comes home a lot. He calls you all the time. Everything that you thought was not going to happen happens. Right. You send me pictures of Isaac like just popping up at home fishing. He texts you about everything.
He does. He does. And I feel very blessed that we have a good relationship and it's not stressful.
Right.
So he's my friend.
Right.
It's great.
Exactly. So empty nesting is amazing. I mean, my relationship with my girls changed when they left home. They call me for everything. Everything. My youngest, Ayana, calls me like, I got tea. And I'm like, is it tea or is it sugar water? Because it's never like, oh my goodness, like soap opera. It's never a soap opera. It's always like little drama, right? Because she's in college. She's a junior at Eastern Michigan University, and she's a gymnast. And there's a lot of girl caddy stuff. There's a lot of stress she's going through. She's had like 4 major knee surgeries.
Right.
So she'll call me with little stuff, and then
4 major knee surgeries.
That's major. It is.
But you go and you stay a week, and then she's by herself at school, limping around to classes, and then
she has a good support system. Her teammates, and then she has amazing roommates. So so she's been getting through it. This is her junior year, her senior year. Hopefully, she'll come back strong.
Right.
Yeah, but we talk all the time, so it's not like sometimes when your kids go away, you forget. Like I forget I'm a mom sometimes because she's like, "Mom, hey, listen." Sometimes I forget to call her. I'm guilty. She calls me all the time. I'll be at work and I'm like, I'll be busy.
You say a little bit busy.
I do. I say, but not too busy for my girls. Like, if
they
call me for some good stuff, I'm there for it. I'll hop on a plane. And then I got my oldest, Zaire, who is like, she's like my guardian angel. Like, she keeps me on task. She cooks for me. She try to keep me healthy. She try to get me in the gym. Well, I come up with 100 excuses why I'm not going. I just keep paying the gym membership. And I make sure she has a gym membership that I pay for Kyle to go to daycare there. So, but she tried to meal prep.
She does meal prep. She's got
her own. No, she tried to meal prep for me. Oh, I'm not to the point where I need her to make sure I'm healthy.
I have seen her meals that she posts, and she it's too healthy for you.
It is.
There's too many green things.
It is. You're absolutely right, and that's her thing. She loves meal prep, and she was telling like my grandson, no sweets, like everything is natural, no chicken nuggets. I mean, I'm McDonald's grandma. Right?
But okay, that's a good thing because
he needs balance.
Well, no, he definitely needs balance. But then on my end, their mom and dad, they get to go to McDonald's every day. They get ice cream. Like when they come to my house and I'm trying to get me eat broccoli, I'm like the bad guy.
Oh, really?
So I can't even like it's just expected that they get sweets. So it's just not as fun. You're the hero.
I am that hero. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yes, that's why you're his boo-boo.
That's why he don't like me to leave.
That's right. See?
Well, Nobody say I'm a perfect grandma, but hey, I think I am.
You're very close.
I think I'm close. I think I'll give myself a 9.82.
There you
Only
go.
because I kick them out once it gets like I could do so many hours a day, but I don't have to get them every day. So that's amazing. Spend my time and then I kick them out. The good thing about being a grandma. If I would
That's
have
right.
known it was this good, I would have been a grandma first. Right.
It-
Let that sit. Let
yeah,
that sit.
yeah. We'll
All
let
right.
that
Let that. So yeah. So we've talking about that empty nesting and just everything with life that's been good.
Yeah. So can I tell everybody how we met?
Go ahead. Let's talk about the story of how Hakima and Jerry met. It was a good meeting.
Oh yeah, it was
I mean,
fine. It was
yeah.
just funny looking back because
Right. We talk about this all the
we
time.
talk about it. So we're both professionals. I was selling real estate, still selling real estate, and Hakima came into the office and she wanted to buy a house, and that's how we met. And she came
Right.
in, and I just was like, okay, got to do my job.
Right. It was over a decade ago too, and that was my very first house.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already dealing with a real estate agent. I just wasn't as a young person. I was 31 years old when we met.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for your very first house, I just felt like the agent I had was not the agent that was for me. So I did
Right.
go to somebody and I cried to them like, I'm trying to just buy a house. And they were like, well, I got the perfect person for you. I'm not going to even tell you what they said. They were like, you want professional, you want laid back. They're going to be a little laid back. And I kind of like, I really didn't know at the time that that's what I needed, but I needed that. I needed you to be laid back because my life was a mess. And listen, when you're buying your first house, you don't let your agent know like your life is a mess.
Right.
But
you well, and the thing that you need a first time buyer out there who's thinking that their life is a mess and they're trying to buy a house. Number one, you're not that messed up because you're trying to get your stuff together.
Right. I did have my stuff together though.
Right. You very much had your stuff together. So.
I just had this champagne taste with this beer budget, and not everybody want to work with that. But
right.
You need somebody to understand, like, hey, I'm not trying to overeat. Right. This is my first purchase, and I'm used to rent. Rent was safe. Mortgage, not so safe.
Right, except for like it's funny like the way it flips because especially today's like the last few years you can really see it how if you have a mortgage you're stuck in you're at that price, but if the rents keep on climbing. Yeah. So but that's another story. I didn't mean to excuse me have a segue, but so she came in and I was nervous because I honestly was barely hanging on like financially. I was recently separated and it was just not an easy time in my life. So Kima looks at me like I have my stuff together and I'm looking at her like she has her stuff together. Meanwhile, our inner monologue is like, oh God, we've got to get our stuff together. I got to get my stuff together. So
right. I had no idea.
Right. So that was then, and we in a minute, and just when we come back, we're going to have a very special guest who actually introduced us and made the introduction. We'll tell you about him in just a minute. But so then fast forward. Oh, but that was a great story because you were. I don't think you were a beginning police officer, but you were.
No. Remember I started one department, did about 7.5 years, came to the East Coast of Virginia. So yeah, so in my what we call my real life, just a superhero, and and I was looking for a program out there because being young, having a career but not making that much money, and then being a single mom as well. So that was my fear, being a single mom. I didn't want to overeat, so.
I love the way you say overeat.
I do.
She means like putting too much on her plate financially.
Right. Right. So, I say, right. But if you look at it, it's overeating.
That's right. That's right.
And I kind of wanted something that I can afford.
So, and the thing is, there are programs out there it's called the Hero. Particular program is called the Hero Program.
Right.
So it's for police officers, firefighters, teachers.
Yeah.
So this is a grant. It was actually more than a grant, but you had to get a HUD foreclosed home, and this is back when we had the bubble, so there were lots to choose from.
Oh yeah.
And
After the housing crisis.
right. So we didn't know, and I didn't know if it was going to work or not. But she actually got a house, and then we watched as the paperwork came through for half price.
Half price, and we did not know that.
Yes, 30 seconds.
Okay.
And then
But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when we come back. How about that?
That's perfect.
All right.
I think that's a great thing.
Good place to stop.
Yes.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Shrimp Feast.
Shrimp Feast who?
It's the 46th annual Shrimp Feast hosted by the Kiwanis Club of Chesapeake.
Bring your family and appetite on Thursday, May 15th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. to the Chesapeake City Park.
Tickets are only $45, $55 at the gate.
Yeah, but discounts are available for children between 4 and 12, and kids under 3 are free.
Event sponsorships are also available.
To purchase tickets, call Aaron at 702-286-0063, or to become an event sponsor, contact Fred Woodall at 757-469-4945.
Kiwanis builds communities one child at a time.
Have you ever wanted to dress like a Hall of Fame broadcaster, but didn't know where to begin? In 2018, Aaron Phillips was inducted in the Las Vegas Entertainers Hall of Fame, and The Voice was born. Aaron has been part of many successful podcast programs, and branding those programs plays a vital role. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and order the latest embroidered products featuring the logos of many of Aaron's shows. Discounts and flat shipping rates are available on all orders, regardless of quantity, on men's, women's, and kids' apparel, and many accessories. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and let Aaron's voice speak to you.
There you go.
All right. Welcome back to Changing Lanes with Hartz and King. And thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us. We're just excited to be here and hope you enjoy our show.
Right. Oh, you guys could always catch us on our Facebook page. From there we'll be going live with our Facebook probably next month, but you could catch this show live. If not, you could definitely catch it on WWDBTV.
WWDBTV,
There we
Virginia
go.
Beach.
See, that's the cool thing about having a producer, because he can fix all that stuff for
Yes,
you.
he
But
can.
again, thanks for tuning in. Like we mentioned our last segment, we do have a guest today, Matt Schaefer, who's here, who's a broker, who's got 24 years of experience in the real estate game. But he actually is the person that introduced us.
Yes.
I'm very excited about Matt.
Me too.
If you guys got any questions, we are live on Facebook. So you guys can send us put some
And YouTube.
comments and YouTube as well. But put some comments or some questions in the chat box. Let us know how we're doing, guys. This is one of the scariest things that we've had to do.
Can you tell? Do we look nervous?
Right.
Ladies, let me share with you a question. Did just come in as if on cue. This is Aaron, by the way, for your
Awesome.
audience.
Yes, this is our
Hi.
producer, guys. Aaron.
I feel like the voice of God right now. The question that comes in is, they said you mentioned all these lanes that you're changing, but you keep using the word scared. How did you get past being scared when it comes to changing things in your life? How did you get things back to normal? That's what they'd like some tips on.
Well, for me, it goes back to my friends. It goes back to my family, my friends. I've been so blessed. And honestly, not to talk about Matt, but he was very, very supportive during one of my really big lows. And, just it's amazing how, I don't know if you're spiritual, whatever, but how things show up in your life when you need them. And I do feel like when you put things out, they're going to come back. And so for me, it was my friends. And it was being honest with how I was feeling, and just, every once in a while, some vodka.
I just wanted you to all
Vodka.
see. He is here in studio.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
waiting
Oh.
his turn. There he is. You can wait.
Oh, yeah, Matt.
There you go. All right. That's
Hi,
it.
Matt.
30 seconds of time.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
So, and like you said, you mentioned friends and family.
Mhm.
And I say staying grounded and getting over that fear is definitely friends and family.
Mhm.
I got this thing inside me, like if I fear something, I just got to go conquer it. Like that's the only thing that's going to stop me from being scared of something. Like if it's something I need to, or I want to get over, or I want to do, I'm just gonna face it head on. And
Mhm.
and I'm not saying it's always a good thing, but being a single mom, like sometimes you have nobody but to depend on but yourself, and then you have your kids that depend on you.
Right.
So
I mean, with that, I think it's easier sometimes for especially
face
women.
fears,
And
yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question for Matt when we get to that. Like, I feel like we press down whatever we need. You know, like I mean, even I don't know, getting new clothes or whatever the
Right.
thing is. Their time runs out, and it's like you're just doing, and
Right.
so that part of the empty nesting, going back to that, has been nice
Right.
because I'm like, oh, I could sit down a second.
Right.
So, but then also like, but to the fear portion, it's like for me, it wasn't like, it was probably afraid to be alone, like leaving my marriage kind of thing, like, and doing all this, even though I knew it was, I mean, I had to, I was getting physically issues were starting to happen. So, and things, anyway, I don't want to go too deep there, but anyway, what was I saying? You talk.
Yeah, we'll talk about fears and facing your fears.
Oh,
And I know that
fears.
was probably like
Yeah.
a hard time in your life. And there's a lot of people that's probably going through or in a situation where they're trying to conquer a fear of leaving.
It's just,
a
I mean,
marriage
it's just the
or
unknown. I think it's
your
it's
kids.
always the unknown.
Yeah.
It's like,
I say strong faith. I say you have a
you
strong
have to
faith
have strong
too.
faith.
You gotta have
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
You have to have something to pull to. I know a few years back when I started reading.
Mhm.
Remember that? And
Mhm.
I started reading books of self-help books that
Mhm.
kind of helped me push through that fear. It's kind of like mind over matter as well.
Well,
But going back to your faith, like the Bible tells you, you
right.
know,
Well, and it's
push-
even right, all those sources, and it's
Yes.
also like when you read it, like, oh, they went through that too.
They did, right.
I'm not alone in
We're
this.
not the first ones.
Right.
We're not the
And
pioneers of fear.
we're not the pioneers
But
of
we
fear.
make it look good though. I mean, I'm proud of you where you have come from.
I'm proud of you where
Well, I
you've come
appreciate
from.
it.
I know.
Yeah.
So, okay, so real quick to finish this story of Hakima in her first house. So she got that one half price.
Oh yeah.
So,
let's go back to that.
so in she had a plan already, like she's gonna pay it off 3-4 years, whatever. So 3-4 years, not even 2 years, I think, came along. You bought another house. Then you
Bought another
bought
house.
another house.
And every time I call Jerri, now that's facing your fear. Because I was always scared, but you
Mhm.
always made it seem like you got this. Everything works out for you. Remember, you used to always do
Oh
that to
yes, I mean that's a thing that I think really drew me to you, was that you did have a faith, you did have a glow, you had like people that just came to you, like you just had good things always, kind of like little
me. Right.
good bees
I
running
guess
around
I
your
didn't see it, but like when you say that, like I'm buying my second house.
head.
I am still a single mom. I'm making $56,000 a year.
Mhm.
And you're like, oh, you could get this. I'm thinking, oh, I could get this because I'm looking for a house,
Mhm.
a second home. I don't think I can afford it,
You did.
but I did. And I wasn't making that much.
Nope.
But sometimes it's having people that got faith in you as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big.
Well, you have to go to the people that have the tools that you need. So if you don't have the tool this just happens to be real estate because I'm in it.
Yeah, that's
you
your
know,
thing. Yeah,
but that's my thing. But like, so Aaron, he's into producing. So he set this room up for us, and it certainly made it a lot easier for us. And we're
he took the fear out of it.
Yeah,
Because
he
let me
took the
tell you,
fear out.
he took the fear out of it.
Exactly.
Listen, he came to us about a podcast.
He
Did
came.
not?
I mean, I'm helping my parents, live their best life in their mid 80s, and we're at craft shows all the time. And he stalked me at craft shows.
Is that how you feel?
Yes.
I am the stalker. That's right. You and I first met. I forget which one it was. Was it the one down at the museum in Virginia Beach? Was that the first one?
Sure.
I think was the one. And then, yes. And then I stalked her because every event after that, I was telling my wife, God, I hope I see Jerri again. I got to go see Jerri. So it works out. Like you guys mentioned, things happen for a reason.
It does, and it kind of
absolutely
pushed
happen for a
us because
reason.
we knew we wanted to do a podcast.
Mhm.
We know we wanted to finish it because we did start it,
Mhm.
and we had a lot of people like really looking forward to coming back and watching us. But again, life happened,
Like
transition,
Mhm.
a little bit of fear,
Mhm.
and I think this fear is like, I have the fear, you kind of have the fear as well, and we kind of just like, okay, well,
Let's
I'm
just
waiting
do
on
it
you,
anyway.
you're waiting on
Whatever.
me, and then
Yeah.
when you came to me with Aaron as a producing our show, it was amazing.
Right. So going back to our relationship and how we like keep on kind of rolling in. I had a house, still have the house over by ODU. They had
Oh yeah.
4 frat boys living in it. So, and I mean, liquor bottles, the bra ha ha, which is, you decorate a bra for Cancer Month. It had just gone on. So they had this hot pink, humongous bra hanging over the way. And I was like,
these
Kima,
are college boys, though.
they're college boys. The backyard has got beer and kegs. And
it was like beer, it was like cans like grass. Like the backyard was just nothing but beer cans.
It was nothing like that. Anyway, so I'm like, could you please come over and scare these boys? Because I'm too nice and they're not listening. And anyway, so she comes through. She's in full regalia, which
my superhero costume.
She does not look like this when she's in full regalia. You're afraid of her because she's got things on that are scary.
These boys weren't scared.
They were not scared. And she was not scary. She just laughed at them.
Right. Because when I walked in there, I'm like, not only was it horrific, I'm like, Jerry's a slumlord. That's the first thing I thought. But listen, these guys played. I felt like they were standing at the door of the bathroom and like pissing towards the toilet. It was horrible. And we asked them if they had a pet. What they say? It's like a rat this size. I'm like, is it the pet? And then they got the couch from the curb. Remember
they had got the couch from the curb.
So yes. I had begged Jerry not to sell this house. She was just so done with these boys.
I was like, I'm selling this house.
And I'm like, Jerry, if you sell it, and this is when I first came in, starting my business of corporate housing.
That's right.
And I told Jerry, if you change this house to corporate housing, it's going to change your life.
Yes.
But I also told you I'll help you.
Yes.
Did I not get down there with the elbow grease and
I mean,
sweat equity?
Again, your girlfriends are really, really important.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Yes. So anyway, so we switched it over. Now there's traveling nurses in there for the most part. A couple, they're all men actually. I think because as Kima says, I decorate like a grandma.
But they love it.
I know they absolutely love it.
Do.
They're coming home to moms,
right?
So it's these guys, and they're very clean. They're like, I'm like, oh, sweet.
Yes, and further in our podcast, you guys got to continue to follow us, and continue to watch us because we'll tell you a little bit about our business and how we came to be such badasses. I'm just so calling like
more of a badass than me.
No, but you are like we're thriving in our own lanes. Changing lanes. We changed lanes. That's how we started this. We kind of like took a whole different approach to life.
And with that, even the every single person that we coach on the changing over to the corporate housing, they all look at us like we're a little bit crazy.
Right.
They take deep breaths and they go ahead and do it, and then they're like,
life changing, right? So we're teaching people financial freedom. We learned financial freedom on accident.
Totally
changing. I'm not gonna say changing lanes, but becoming empty nesters. That's how I've learned it by accident. Fell into
and to the empty net. There's always a time. There's a time and place for everything.
Yes,
there is. And so
you are absolutely right.
Yeah, you have to know where you are and lean into that and then go from there.
And then all these resources and all these people that you have in your life that are friends, family, everybody's in your life for a reason. Like how we met, everything that up until today, we meet people. Like Aaron was a chance meeting, was it not?
Absolutely.
So, and look at us today. Look at Nat Schaefer, who you guys are about to meet, this awesome, amazing person. We would have never met if I didn't have that moment of like, that oh shit moment. I'm buying a house and this real estate agent is not for me.
Right.
And they're going to make me overeat. And I
look laid back. People think I'm laid back, but you guys know the truth.
Jerri, you're on your business. I can say that because I can say you were asking questions. Remember that lady said, I'm not supposed to answer that. And you were like, well, what if, because of the program.
Right.
And it kind of gave me insight into like how to purchase a home from HUD. Right. And Jerri, if I did not meet you, thanks to Matt and thanks to you, I wouldn't be where I am today because I would have never got that program. Because that other agent pushed me away from it. She's like, I don't do that. And you, I mean, we've been through some stuff. Have we not? We've looked at thousands of houses. At this point, I'm pretty sure we've looked at thousands of houses.
My favorite, like there's a couple that were my favorite that like.
Our favorite moments?
Yes.
Jerri?
Yes.
We had some crazy moments.
Yes.
We were like,
so
we're Louise at some of these things.
We were at this house and it was like stuck in time. It was like, back in the 50s, all the furniture. And I was like, oh gosh, this person either died or she's in a nursing home, because it was perfectly clean. Everything was everything was avocado green and a little bit pink thrown in. And we go into the master bedroom or primary, and getting ready to open the closet. Kima gets out like her baton.
It was like a flashlight,
whatever.
Flashlight.
It was a tool, and it was a weapon. And she goes, "This is where the stuff goes down." And
Right.
so we open the closet door,
30
and
seconds.
on the floor is a mannequin head, like for a
right.
wig. And I mean, both of us screamed.
And it was a wig attached.
I know, but it looked like a head. So
Right.
it was, anyway, nothing really bad happened. It was just funny.
But it was a head in the closet. But those are the kind of things that we have gone through together, and we've had some great moments.
Mm-hmm.
But again, thanks for watching. We're about to take a break. So join us at the break where you guys will meet Matt Schaefer, the guy who made this all happen. Right.
Injured in a car wreck in Virginia? Worried about insurance companies taking advantage of you? Attorney Nathan Bordegaray, founder of Bordegaray Injury Law in Chesapeake, is a former insurance defense attorney who knows the insurance company's playbook. With over 12 years of experience and over 100 combined jury trials, bench trials, and arbitrations, Nathan has recovered millions of dollars for his clients. Regardless of where you live in Virginia, Bordegaray Injury Law is ready to help. Call 757-505-HURT. That's 757-505-4878 or visit nbinjury.com today to schedule your free consultation. Allow Bordegaray Injury Law to tilt the scales of justice in your favor.
Have you ever wanted to dress like a Hall of Fame broadcaster but didn't know where to begin? In 2018, Aaron Phillips was inducted in the Las Vegas Entertainers Hall of Fame, and The Voice was born. Aaron has been part of many successful podcast programs, and branding those programs plays a vital role. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and order the latest embroidered products featuring the logos of many of Aaron's shows. Discounts and flat shipping rates are available on all orders, regardless of quantity, on men's, women's, and kids' apparel, and many accessories. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and let Aaron's voice speak to you.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Shrimp Feast.
Shrimp Feast who?
It's the 46th annual Shrimp Feast hosted by the Kiwanis Club of Chesapeake.
Bring your family and appetite on Thursday, May 15th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. to the Chesapeake City Park.
Tickets are only $45, $55 at the gate.
Yeah, but discounts are available for children between 4 and 12, and kids under 3 are free.
Event sponsorships are also available.
To purchase tickets, call Aaron at 702-286-0063, or to become an event sponsor, contact Fred Woodall at 757-469-4945.
Kiwanis builds communities one child at a time.
Welcome back to Changing Lanes with Hartz and King. I'm Kima King.
I'm Jerri Hartz.
And thank you again, guys, for tuning in and watching us. We appreciate you. We really do. This is our first show. And like we said, we had a guest. And here's our guest, the guy who introduced us, Mr.
Hi.
Matt Schaefer.
Yes, that is me.
It is you.
Thank you for having me. And I'm your first guest.
You are our
This
first
is our
Wow.
first show, our
No
first
pressure out
guest.
there. No pressure.
This is
I
it.
hope we have some questions and comments about me being on the first. I hope they're positive.
They are
Comments and
positive,
questions.
Matt. Of course they
Good.
are.
Good. Well, how are you?
We're wonderful.
You
How are you?
guys look
How you been?
amazing. You guys
Thank
seem
you.
very natural doing this. This is a perfect fit, I think, for you.
You think
both.
so?
I do.
We appreciate that, especially coming from you.
Well, I appreciate that. But no, I think you guys are very warm and welcoming. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
know,
And thank
I
you
think this
for
is-
introducing us.
And
I did just learn I'm the first guest though. So
I know.
no
Well,
pressure.
so
thank you.
and not to so Matt and I go way back, like way
Couple years.
back. Yeah. So he was.
But we gotta tell
He was-
Matt's accolades. Like we go
Well,
way back.
this is
but-
hard for me, so I have to read this because I don't think of Matt as professional as he is. Because
he
even
is.
though he
Wow.
was my boss.
Aaron,
you
you
were
hearing
my
this?
boss.
And we
remember?
found out, Matt,
Wow.
that you were both of our bosses.
Yes.
Did you know that?
When?
Well,
Yes.
Well,
I
you gave me my
learned it.
first contract.
Yes. I
I
learned of
answer
that.
to you.
So
And
absolutely.
Your name was on my checks.
Yeah.
That means you.
Now the times have changed.
It is.
You know, you guys have come a long way. I'm proud of you.
Oh, well, we're proud of you.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
we
I
are.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you.
But
Yes,
Matt's
but
a real estate broker.
he is.
He gave me my first security contract as a police officer. Matt, I always say you own Ingleside Square Apartments,
No,
but you don't
I do
own
not.
it,
So I
but-
work for somebody. My last name is not Ingleside.
It is
so,
not?
No.
but
I've been out there 18 years.
18 years.
And I didn't mean to cut you off, but yes. And you were came aboard as my security maybe 10 years into it,
Yes.
something like that.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
so.
when we met.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
and look how time has
Right.
changed
And-
and far have you come.
I might have been security, but you were still a muscle out there. Like everybody's like, Matt, your name held a lot of weight. You know that, right?
Well,
they didn't know if you were FBI,
So I just
DEA.
heard that it wasn't Mr. Schaefer, it was
Matt.
Max, or they call me Max, or that guy, the guy who
Right.
sits in the back is what I'm referred to a lot.
You are
you
the
know.
muscle out there. People
Well,
respect you.
It's funny. A funny quick story is when I first started out there back in 2007. I'm driving around in a Tahoe, which already looks like FBI.
Right.
And I remember walking down the street going to do some inspections of a property, and we had the police officer stop me and said, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "What?" And they were like, they're like, "Well, what are you doing walking around out here?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm the new property manager for this property." And they're like, "Oh, okay." You know, it was just it was a funny introduction to the
Right.
to the
Can I
police.
help
out there.
you? Like,
Yeah.
why are you
And
here?
they're like, "Why are you walking around this community right now, sir?" But no, it's come a long way, a lot, and thanks to you and all the great people you had
Appreciate it.
come through. And so, yeah, so
Yes, but we went back a little further than that,
we've known each other.
a very long time.
I was thinking about that driving over today. Was it the 90s when I first met you? I think. Remember, you were living
Mhm.
with
Jimmy
Jimmy.
Lee, and
Well,
yeah,
before
so-
that, I knew you and your family, your brothers.
right,
grew up,
right,
you know,
right, like growing up same neighborhood kind of thing. But
right?
yes, Kings Grant. But yeah, so Matt was good friends of my roommate, and so we started working together there. And like I say, we just had so many good times at the restaurant, and then from there, life just kept going and going. And we stayed friends. You and Danielle got married. I took photos at your wedding.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't forget to add that because Jerri
This is
was
the
my
best.
photographer at my wedding.
You want your money back?
Uh,
You want your money back, Matt?
wow,
Paid. Hello.
wow. Sure.
Right.
I don't-
refund,
I
Jerry.
don't. But I don't think I paid her.
I know. Yeah, I don't think I got paid. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm pretty sure they said you could stay for food and drinks, and she was happy with
I
that.
was very happy with that. Yes. So and
Well, we didn't have a whole lot of money. I got married at the weekend after 9/11, so it
Oh,
was
wow.
already
Right.
extremely stressful
Stressful.
time. Extremely stressful. And yes,
but
that
it
was
was beautiful. But
2001. So
2001.
and moving forward from there.
Yeah, lots of things happened, but this is just a quick story. We're at lunch one day, and how you doing, Jerry? I'm good. How are you doing? Who you dating? What's going on? Well, I'm dating this guy. I don't know if you know him. He's a lot of fun. La la la. Who? What's his name? I said Dow, and you could just show me what you did.
I was just like, what? What? Like, what a small world.
You know Dow too?
So, well, the Phipps family, they
Right.
go back to where Dow's parents,
He has amazing parents.
amazing parents. Dow's mom and dad go back to when my mom and dad were, they own an apartment right near each other. And
They
I
raised their
believe,
children together.
yeah, back where my oldest sister and Lisa, their oldest daughter, were Tyler friends. So they knew me even before I knew them.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So it was just so funny, full circle. See, now she's dating a Phipps, and
They're like cousins.
yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
literally like cousins. They were
So
cousins,
our Linda and my mom go back to when they were 18, 19, 20, something like that. So and now just to say, and then when she told me that, I was like, of course, it's like, it's funny how our lives have just
right.
interwound and then it's full circle. Yeah.
So we met. I've met a lot of great people. So if I look at my career, they tell you to do like rate your clients in referral ABC clients. So Matt is an A+++.
He's an A+.
Aw.
So he refers all the good clients?
Yes, he gives me all my people.
Yes.
Right. And I bought,
Yes.
4 houses from you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I got out of selling real estate. So I've been licensed since 01. And then I got into what I'm doing now back in 07. So I've been out of selling residential real estate for quite some time. So
Right.
after I got out of that, I had a team for a little while that was doing my real estate on the side when I was, busy doing this. And it was just too much. That, and then I was years later, I was a single father. So, I know you both can relate to that.
Mhm.
And that's a lot, working and then balance life, correct?
Right.
So I just told myself I don't have the time to do it. I wanted to have the time. It was nice, for the income,
Mhm.
but but Jerry and I sat down and had a long conversation about moving forward, and it's been a win-win. That's been
Again,
a long
it's
time.
like looking at it's usually the people that are right with you.
Absolutely.
Every time there's an issue, a problem, if you just can take a moment, calm down, and look around at your sphere and the people that you love the most, or maybe even not. Somehow somebody's going to help you. They're going to step in and really be there for you.
Right.
Yes.
So
Always say never be the smartest one in the room.
I believe in that
Guy is
wholeheartedly.
smart.
No. And I've been around. I've learned to keep my mouth shut, listen,
God
and-
gave you 2
and-
years of one mouth.
Well, I have been accused of chatting, being very chatty, and talking just like my friends here today.
We can all do some chomping.
But Matt, you're approachable though. You have to
Well,
think
thank
like
you. I
me
appreciate it.
as a young officer, young professional coming into your office, and
Yes.
you're the reason I started a security consulting firm.
Yep.
I
remember.
It's like you telling me like you believed in me. You told me like, you know what, if you did this and this, you could I got this contract and you could just take over. You remember you just put that out there, and then the next day I came to you 24 hours because I'm like,
I remember you were really nervous.
I was.
And you had a lot of doubts, which I understood,
did.
and was very respectful of that. But I just said, you're going to have me as a client, so you're not going to go bankrupt,
right?
So at least you have me,
right?
And that's a nice client.
Folks, there's a question that came in. It's on the screen right now. Is there an age where life's changes become less scary?
That's a great question.
That is a good question. Matt, go ahead and answer that first.
We would like a male perspective.
Yeah.
And is there an age where it's less scary? Is that correct? Less scary. I think, obviously with age, you have experience. And I think as I got into my 40s, I'm 53 now, and I think that it's less scary now. I mean, I think in my 20s and 30s, I didn't know who I was.
Right.
I was still trying to figure a lot of stuff out, not only professionally but personally. So my opinion, maybe 40s, but I'm sure that's different for everybody, right?
Right. No, but I would say 40 is a good age. I would say 20s, and excuse me for saying this. I always tell young kids, because I've had young girls, and then I mentored young kids, and then I was that young 20-year-old that just lived. I say mess up your 20s. It's okay.
That's right.
If you're gonna try something crazy, try it in your 20s. If you're going,
but let's
no, I'm not saying
that crazy.
go to jail. I'm saying if you're gonna get married your first time, do it in your 20s.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I thought having kids early was gonna be my trap in life that was gonna set me back. But I'm not saying having kids early, but I mean, it worked out for me because my 40s, I'm free now. I don't have anybody depending on me.
For me, it's the opposite because
I was gonna say, me too. It's opposite for me.
At 28 was my favorite year because I had a nice job. So I was making money. I was living on my own, and I could travel. So now when now I'm free again, but and not that I wasn't free to travel. It's just different, So but it's like when Isaac was a toddler and you really couldn't move or do anything,
right.
I really relied on those memories of traveling, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I had a great life. I don't really care what happens.
Right. I was the exact same way. I spent my 20s doing what I want to do. It was very selfish. Traveled. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Because I was out on my own, pretty young. I moved away out of state to Colorado for a number of years, and I thought I wanted to become a ski instructor and live like a not movie star, but a person in the movies. I had a goatee, but this was like 90s, it's okay. It's okay.
So Aaron's got a goatee.
Right. Yeah, Aaron's got a goatee looking at me. But I just wanted to live a simple life. And then I realized how expensive Colorado is to live, even back then. And I needed to stop having $5 in my bank account, and I needed to figure out what to do. So,
right.
But
I say 40s.
Something like that. That's that's probably my opinion.
Anytime you have some life experience, because somebody
life experience,
like somebody that maybe lost their parents when they were younger, 12 or something, and really grew up really quickly. Maybe they're fine, maybe they're done, but it's definitely when you have some faith in yourself finally, when you can finally see that it was scary, but I got through it. It was scary. I got through it. It was scary. I got through it. Then that's the age.
You know, the good thing is, like, we're all on our own timing. Like, I can't compare my timing to your timing.
That's right.
Just be on your own time. And that's the best advice I can give.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Mind your own business.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Everyone's different.
We call it changing lanes for a reason. I've had to U-turn. I had to yield.
Yeah.
You know,
I had to slam on the brakes.
Right. I've been stopped at a lot of red lights.
Right.
Right. Been pulled over.
By you?
No.
Pulled over. I didn't even use the Kima King card.
Oh, I have. It's worked.
How you used it?
I mean, off camera, I'll give you the stories.
Okay. All right. But Matt, you are like FBI. Like,
Well, I've been accused of that, but I'm not.
We need to get you some. We're gonna get you some sunglasses.
I mean, my sisters constantly harass me about that. Matt Schaefer.
Yeah. Well, yes. All right. So we're about to take a break here, and coming back, we have Matt. We'll come back with more with Matt Schaefer and Jerri Harden Hakimki. Right?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Shrimp Feast.
Shrimp Feast who?
It's the 46th annual Shrimp Feast hosted by the Kiwanis Club of Chesapeake.
Bring your family and appetite on Thursday, May 15th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. to the Chesapeake City Park.
Tickets are only $45, $55 at the gate.
Yeah, but discounts are available for children between 4 and 12, and kids under 3 are free.
Event sponsorships are also available.
To purchase tickets, call Aaron at 702-286-0063, or to become an event sponsor, contact Fred Woodall at 757-469-4945.
Kiwanis builds communities one child at a time.
Injured in a car wreck in Virginia? Worried about insurance companies taking advantage of you? Attorney Nathan Bordegaray, founder of Bordegaray Injury Law in Chesapeake, is a former insurance defense attorney who knows the insurance company's playbook. With over 12 years of experience and over 100 combined jury trials, bench trials, and arbitrations, Nathan has recovered millions of dollars for his clients. Regardless of where you live in Virginia, Bordegaray Injury Law is ready to help. Call 757-505-HURT. That's 757-505-4878, or visit nbinjury.com today to schedule your free consultation. Allow Bordegaray Injury Law to tilt the scales of justice in your favor.
Hi guys, welcome back to Changing Lanes with Hartz and King. I'm Jerri.
And I'm Kima.
And we have Matt joining us here today.
Hi.
Yes.
So, just a little recap. So, I have known Matt most of my life. We'll just go from my adult life forward anyway. So, honestly, I didn't tell you guys how wonderful he is, besides being a really good person.
Oh,
but
stop.
I know. He's, let's see, I have to read it because honestly, I didn't know all of this. 24 years of managing.
24 years of being in the restaurant and management.
Right.
It's come by in a blink of an eye.
I just remember someone that we met together who was just such a card. Anyway, so he's native to Hampton Roads, which I did know that. The CPM, but with you, that's what does CPM stand for again?
Certified Property Manager.
Okay.
Correct.
And then you were president of one of the boards.
I was in 2023. I was president. It's called IREM, stands for Institute of Real Estate Management. It's a worldwide organization. Our local chapter is Chapter 39, and I've been involved since 2008.
Okay.
And it's a program for just property managers, and it's for industrial management, it's for commercial management, it's for multifamily, which is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an organization that we get together. It's educational driven. It's a nonprofit. So the money that we do raise, we give back to our local charities that we support each year. It's somebody different. And then we work on our credentials of becoming a certified property manager. Okay. And that's something that I've had to travel around the country to take classes. And then I had to take a test, which is extremely challenging. It's like your broker's test. But anyway, no, it's been great because IREM for me personally is where I've met a just tremendous amount of people and networking, which, I'm sure some point in time we'll talk about today or in another one of your podcasts. But it's been a really big thing for me. So anyway, long story short, I was president in 2021, still active, to this day. So
you stay extremely busy.
Right,
I
you
do.
are a rock star.
Well, it's, you just got to keep moving, right?
Right.
Every day you get up and you do what we have to do. We put our pants on one leg at a time and we go to work.
Absolutely.
So is there like a time in your life where it was you were afraid or you were not? You needed to change
Where I was
lanes?
changing
I guess I guess we need to stop using the word afraid because
Right.
But we need to lean into being brave. I guess.
Sure. No, absolutely. To talk about your podcast and its name and changing lanes, again, we just touched on everyone's different, right? And for me personally, I mean, I have changed lanes several times, but as far as professionally goes, in my 20s, other than wanting to be a ski instructor, which I knew I was never going to be, but I've been in the restaurant business locally for a long time in my 20s, teens.
Which led you, it gave you opportunities there too.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I mean, I remember going back to, I worked at Duck Inn, which is no longer there. I know you remember that place, and now it's condos out the Shore Drive, but I remember bussing tables there back when I was, 15 years old.
Right.
But just moving forward and how, I got up to the point to where I was lucky enough to where I was helping some guys open up a restaurant, and I thought that's what I wanted to do.
Sure.
So, and that's a challenge. Anyone that you start a business, let alone a restaurant business, it's a tremendous amount of work. It's nonstop. It's day and night.
Mhm.
It never stops.
Right.
And I quickly realized, I think I wanted to get back into real estate. And so that was I hate to say the word scary, but that was a challenging time in my life because I lost my father.
Right.
My son was born, and I bought a house. And those are the three big decision things that happened in your life, and all that. And I was helping in getting a business going. And that all happened within 5 months.
Wow,
That's a lot.
And
it goes back to faith. Really, you
absolutely
had to have absolute faith in yourself to show up.
Faith in surrounding yourself with people that you can generally rely on and give you honest support and their opinions.
Right.
So,
right.
Because it was a hard thing for me to make that decision that I'm going to leave this. Now I'm in my 30s. I have a child coming, or he was born, and I'm going to change careers.
That's really scary.
I'm going to go back, and not only get back into real estate, but not sell residential real estate.
Right.
Get into an area that I knew very little about, and someone gave me a chance, and I jumped on it, and I'm still with them today.
And then even and I know your story, but just to say, the reason he gave you that chance is because you're doing a really good job. They're repeat customers at the restaurant.
Correct.
And because you are so good with people, and I think it's because you go the extra step. I think that's what we probably all three really have in common, is that we are trying to do for. I can't sell real estate just to make money. It's not going to work. You have to be in service.
Gotta find your passion.
100% in service. I mean, it is a relationship business. And I think that, you really get to know your customers if you're selling residential or if you get into the commercial side.
Right.
I mean, it is a people busines.
Right.
So,
and so is waiting tables, the way you did
exactly.
it. Right.
And that's where my training really came from, and being able to multitask and being
Absolutely.
able to, not afraid to talk to people and to delegate. And once you go from waiting tables to managing people, then you have a whole nother side of business. Managing people can be extremely hard. So
very tricky.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a really big turning point, changing lane type event for me.
Well, Matt, what kind of advice can you give to our viewers that are at a crossroads right now?
I would say to don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. Lean on your support. Read a lot. Don't be afraid to not be the smartest person in the room, like we were laughing about. And be quiet and listen. I read a lot. I got a lot of great advice from the people around me, but don't give up. And I know we hear that time and time again, and it's easier said than done, right? Because there's been lots of times in life where you just don't feel like doing. You're knocking your head at against the wall and not doing anything. You're not getting anywhere. But if you're passionate enough about it, if that's what you feel like you want to be doing, then you won't give up. And that's
won't happen for you.
Yeah, and also educate yourself about what you're trying to accomplish, or it's not just going to come to you.
So put the work in.
100% put the work in. I mean, it's not going to just come to you. Which it's funny. So many younger people think you're going to graduate and then get a job and you can be making $100,000+ a year, and people don't realize that. And some do, and I don't mean to put a generation or anyone in a bubble, but if you look at anyone, it's a lot of hard work. It's all the
right. They say that overnight success didn't happen overnight.
No.
Right.
You definitely got to put some work in.
100%. And I mean, you both know that. I mean, look at you today, and it's don't be afraid, and you're going to have your doubts, but I think your circle is important, and I think educate yourself on what you're trying to do, and don't be afraid to fail.
Right.
I mean, that's another thing, because gosh, I've failed at trying to acquire properties, or I've lost this, or lost out on management, but opportunities, but you keep going, and then you realize, all right, well, that wasn't supposed to work that way, because this actually developed into this.
Right.
But you don't know that going through it.
You don't.
Right?
Right.
You
Right.
just think, oh gosh, I just, I failed and I'm not going to be good at this, or whatever. All that doubt comes pouring in.
The doubt, right? But then the also, like, I think there's a fine line in fighting for something and then the listening. So like, it wasn't supposed to turn out that way, but I know that there's times in my life and where I just fought to make something happen, and then it was like, oh my God, why in the world did I didn't listen to all the roadblocks that were in front of me, and I think that, I mean, or do you feel like you should listen a little bit? That comes into listening, right?
It does. It
So
does.
it's not just listening to like somebody say no, do that, but if like say you couldn't get pre-qualified for $1 million house, you would have bitten off more than you could chew.
Way more.
So you have to listen, right?
Right.
You do. Yes. I mean, listening, it's funny. I was reading this book the other day, and it was so.
What book?
I was trying. I know, and I knew you're going to ask me that, and I can't remember, but I'll think of it in a minute. But it talked about when you are first brought onto a company, you should not say anything for like 5 months. Just listen. Just absorb the people that are around you, and even if you don't, agree with them, but don't be that guy that walks into work with all these opinions. I mean, depending on what kind of job it is, but stop and listen is my whole point. Just stop and take in and listen to the people that are around you.
Read the room.
Read the room, Jerri Hartz.
Read the room. And then meet people where they are.
That's right.
That's really good advice. But not being afraid to fail.
Not being afraid to fail is, I mean, people have a hard time with that, and which is understandable, right? I mean, no one wants to fail, but I mean, how many great entrepreneurs and people of business have failed? I mean, every story is the same, right? I'm not saying anything new.
Right.
I mean, everybody has so many stories of, I failed, but I learned this, and but you have to go through it. I think it's that process of going through it, the highs and lows, right? Peaks and valleys, that makes you a better person, And again, it goes back to that question earlier, is there an age, that it's become easier? I think the question was, and it's just experience, right? And that just takes time.
It does take time. Right. Patience.
Well, Matt, I'm glad we had you as our first guest.
Well,
everybody wouldn't be able to get these jewels.
Well, I don't know if I'm saying anything new, but
we might have to have you back to be our male counterpart to give our little opinions on.
I would be more than happy to come back, because I am very proud of you both for doing
this.
And I think this comes very natural to you both.
Thank you.
Well, you're always welcome. So if you got anything you want to.
Well, don't say that, because I'll come back tomorrow.
Well,
I know where you are now.
We won't be here tomorrow.
I know Aaron. So I'm going to tell Aaron that I'm going to guest host. So.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thank you guys for tuning in with Hartz and King and changing lanes with Hartz and King.
Yes.
Like I said, thank you for our first ride, our first
Thank
show.
you for having me.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Thank
Both of
you.
you. I'm very proud of you both.
Yes. And our guests can find us on YouTube, Changing Lanes with Hartz and King, on our YouTube page. We have a Changing Lanes with Hartz and King Facebook page. Also, we'll soon have an IG page. We need that. I don't know about the TikTok, but we do have a website. We have our Hearts and King website. Jerry, you know, what's our website?
HartzandKing.com.
Hearts and Kings.
Let's go down the stretch here.
Oh my gosh.
Listen.
According to your Facebook page, it's the same name as your Facebook page.
Yes.
But it's not up yet. Looks like it's still under construction.
So we're gonna make sure that everything is out there, that you guys can get in touch with us however you need to get in touch with us. But continue to join us every Monday. We'll be live. Also, if you have any questions or comments, guys, or any kind of critique, because we need that. Like
Yes, we would
sometimes
love
it's
critiques.
okay with failing, but we want to make sure that we're giving you guys the nuggets and everything that you guys need.
So, and thank you so much. Thanks again for tuning in.
Yes.
We'll see you next time.
All right.